Hello students, myself I am K. Vasant Kumar, working as faculty in the Department of Computer Science in Dr. Lankapalli Ballai College, Visakhapatnam. Today I want to discuss about the topic user interface design, which is fourth unit in software engineering. In the previous classes you have heard about introduction to software engineering, software requirements analysis, software design, and today this is a fourth unit in software engineering. Here today we are going to discuss about few topics in software user interface design. First topic is what is user interface design and interface analysis and design models, and user interface analysis and design process. So first we will see what is user interface design. It is nothing but it is a front-end application view through which user can interact in order to use the software. Suppose to use any kind of software, user interface plays a very important role between user and software. It acts as an interface. Okay, and by using user interface, user can control, manipulate the software and hardware by using user interface. Generally, we can find user interface in mobiles, computers, music players, etc. So to operate any kind of software, user interface acts as a mediator between user and the software. So it also provides a platform for HCI, which we can call it as human computer interaction. Next, when user interface will become popular. So how effectively a user interface is designed, then it can become popular. So when designing a user interface, after designing, the user should feel it as very attractive by saying that he should be able to access the software, and it should be very simple to use. Any user, any kind of user with minimum knowledge, he should be able to use the system or software, and it should respond in very short time. Like suppose if you're asking for anything or you're accessing anything, it should respond in very short time, and it should be very clear to understand. By seeing, any user should be able to access or use and use the application or software. And next one is it should be consistent in all interfacing screens. And next, coming to interface analysis and design models, there are four different models that is to be considered when a user interface is to be analyzed and designed. They are, first one is user model, design model, and user's mental model, and last one is implementation model. Now we'll see one by one. First one, what is the user model? It establishes a profile of all end users. Like there are different types of users. There can be number of users. Some might have some knowledge and some do not might have some knowledge to access the interface. So by this users can be categorized as novice users, or knowledgeable or intermittent users, and knowledgeable or frequent users. Coming to novice users, they do not have any kind of syntactic knowledge of the system, and a little bit of semantic knowledge of the application or computer uses of the system. They have very less knowledge of uses of the system. And coming to knowledgeable or intermittent users, they have some reasonable semantic knowledge of the application, but very low syntactic information to the use of system. So they are far better than novice users. Novice users, they do not have that much of syntactic knowledge, but whereas coming to intermediate users, they have some knowledge. They can access the interface. And next one is knowledgeable or frequent users. They are very frequent users. They always access the information through internet or through different applications or through different softwares. So they might have some good semantic as well as syntactic knowledge. And next one is design model. A design model of the entire system, which can incorporate data, architectural interface, and a procedural representation of the software. Basing on this, a design model is designed. And next one is users mental model. Basing on users mentality, the user's mental image of how the interface will work and what kind of interface they actually need. Basing on this, like a user's mental model, a user interface can be designed. And next one is implementation model, like the interface, how the interface is look and feel, coupled with supporting information, like adding some more information that can describe the interface syntax and semantics. So when both the implementation model and user mental model coincide, users generally feel comfortable with the software and they can use it effectively. So this is all about interface analysis and design models. Next we'll see what is user interface analysis and design process. Coming to user interface analysis and design process, it is an iterative process, it is a repetitive process, and it can be represented as spiral model, as you have seen in process paradigms. This is one of the model, iterative. It can be repetitive process. It consists of 4 framework activities. First one is user, task and environment analysis, interface design, interface construction, and validation. Now if you look at this diagram, like you are having a diagram here, in the first framework activity, user, task and environment analysis is done here, and coming to second framework activity, an interface design is done here, and coming to third framework activity, an implementation or the real construction is done here, and last one is interface validation. Okay, we'll see one by one framework activity. What is interface analysis? Like we are understanding the user, we have to understand the user who is going to interact with the system based on their skill levels. So by understanding the user, we can analyze the things like what kind of interface he needs, like the task the user is going to perform to accomplish his goals are identified, described and elaborated here. And next one is interface design. In interface design, all the interface objects and actions that enable a user to perform all desired tasks are defined here. And next one is implementation. A prototype is initially constructed. You know what is prototype? A prototype is nothing but it is a sample model of application without functionality. A sample model of application is built, but it doesn't contain any kind of functionality. Like they'll show a sample model, and then later if the user interface, by using different development tools, they can complete the construction of the user interface. And finally the validation. Here the correctness of the system is validated against the user requirements. Finally a validation process is done. In this way the user interface analysis and design process can be done. And summary, today in this class we have discussed about what is user interface design, what is user interface design. Okay, it is like a front end view application through which a user can interact with the software. And how user interface will become popular, we have seen like a different things, like it should be attractive, it should be simple to use, it should be easy to understand, it should be consistent in all interfacing devices, and next one is it should be very easy to use, and many more things. And we also discussed about 4 different models and analysis and design process models and 4 different framework activities in user interface analysis and design process. So with this I'm going to close this. In the next video or PPT, we are going to discuss about the remaining topics in 4th unit. So thank you one and all.